so-called leaders that's trying to push this community thing, but they do it in different aspects. You got one that wants to go with economics. You got one that wants to go with politics. You got another one that wants to go with real estate. These are all different avenues our people say that we got to come back together, right? In that mix, all these different things our people are trying. You got some people that's still trying to push drugs in that same community they're trying to build. They say, oh, we can sell weed to other nations, or we can do this and that. But God said that thing is not going to be blessed because the commandments are not the staple of y'all trying to come back as a community. All right, what's your name, bro? My name is Lycan. All right, so what's your nationality? You black? Okay, so I want you to look at that sign over there, all right? Because come over here with me. On one side is what the world calls us, right? And the other side is what God calls us. So now, if God came back, Christ came back today and he said, my son, what tribe do you belong to? And you said black. What would his response be?
He don't know what that is.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what that is. He's like, you calling yourself a color? When I gave you a nationality, I called you Judah. That's your true nationality. All right, so when Christ is coming back, he's coming back looking for the Israelites that keep his commandments. He ain't coming back looking for African Americans, blacks, colors, none of that stuff. All right, so that's the first thing. One thing we got to realize, give me Isaiah 1 and 3. One thing we got to realize, bro, we as a people, when we call ourselves all these different names, we're not saying we know where our power is. All right, let's think about that. Listen to the scripture. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So when you think about it, these are two animals. He said an ox and an ass, which is a donkey. He said they know where their home is. What comes with knowing where your home is? What else the other resources come for knowing where your home is? Food, shelter, your security, all these things, right? So he said, we as a people,
the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know.
It says God shows the people, we don't know this stuff. We don't know where our power is, where our protection is, where our food is supposed to come from, where our safety is supposed to come from. So why do you think we don't know this stuff?
We've been separated from it.
We've been separated. You're absolutely right. But why were we separated?
I don't know. Is that a curse?
Yeah, hey, it's a humble answer, bro.
In my mind, like, I think that's what it is, because I know that the tribes are separated, but I don't fully understand why it was cursed, but I know that they were cursed.
Okay, we're going to show you why. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 28:15. All right, we're going to show you, because what you said is on point, bro. Now you got to get the understanding of where it comes from.
Now, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses is speaking to a very specific group of people. He said, listen, if you don't keep God's commandments and his statutes, which he gave to you only, then all these curses are going to come upon you. So first and foremost, if we don't know who we are, do we know that the commandments pertain to us? Absolutely not. So that's the first step. When they stripped our nationality from us, they stripped our sense of knowing who we are and what actually belongs to us as a nation of people. All right, and God said because of that, we're not keeping his commandments, now we're going to be cursed.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
All right, so now we said with knowing where your home is, you know where your food comes from, your shelter comes from, right? Read verse 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So because we're not serving the Lord how we're supposed to, now he said we're going to serve our enemies that he sent against us. Who shows themselves to be our enemies every single day?
People in society, constantly.
Who? Name them.
The ones that don't look like us.
Say it. Who is it?
Adversaries, the white folks.
Okay, the so-called white man, that's the main one, but it's all the other people. Think about it. Who runs the gas stations in our neighborhoods?
People that don't look like us.
The so-called Arabs. Who runs the liquor stores in our neighborhoods? So-called East Indians. All these different nations of people, they put stuff in our neighborhoods to destroy us. We don't own anything that's in our neighborhoods. Right? So it said, God said, because of that, we want to serve our enemies. These people that we got to go to for these resources are our enemies. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
When we knew who he was and we was keeping God's commandments, God fed us. Our food came from him, but now because we destroyed for not keeping his commandments, now we got to go to the enemies for food. When we hunger, we don't own Walmart. We don't own Price Chopper. None of these grocery stores. Save-A-Lot that's right here. Our people don't own this stuff. So God said, because you broke my commandments, now you got to go to them for hunger. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. Water falls freely out the sky. The earth is more than 70% water. And we got to go to another nation to pay a water bill. Read.
And in nakedness.
The clothes on our back. Our people get simple say, but we got our own clothing line. Where did the cotton come from? We don't own the cotton industries. No. Read.
And in want of all things.
Anything you can think of in this earth that you may want, we got to go to somebody that don't look like us for it. Why is that? Because we broke God's commandments. Because we discontinued from how great we truly are. We don't know this stuff, which is why now we got killing in our neighborhoods. We got stealing, we got drugs in our neighborhoods. We got high abortion rates in the black community. Why is that? Because we discontinued from our heritage. And when we say that God doesn't love every race of people on this earth, now people look at us crazy. They're trying to defend the exact same people that did this to us. That's right. That reminds us every single day that you are not like them and they don't like you. Right. So now, how do we change the things in our communities? By being okay, so what goes into being a community?
Changing the mindset, acquisition, property.
Okay, watch this. Get Psalms chapter 1. I'm about to show you something. Get Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. Because think about it. We got a lot of so-called leaders that's trying to push this community thing, but they do it in different aspects. You got one that wants to go with economics. You got one that wants to go with politics. You got another one that wants to go with real estate. These are all different avenues our people say that we got to come back together, right? But watch this. Read.
Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
So in that mix, all these different things our people are trying. You got some people that's still trying to push drugs in that same community they're trying to build. They say, oh, we can sell weeds to other nations, or we can do this and that. But God said that thing is not going to be blessed because the commandments are not the staple of y'all trying to come back as a community. So how can you have people with different mindsets and ideologies of how to build a community come together and actually build a community? They can't. You're right. Keep reading.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord.
So the Bible says when our delight is in the law of the Lord, that's the only way our communities is going to thrive. Because think about it, bro, we got churches on every block in our communities, but they're not teaching us how to thrive as a nation. They're not teaching us that the only way that we come back and stop the crime is telling a man, you are not supposed to kill, according to the Bible. You're not supposed to bear false witness against your brother, according to the Bible. You're not supposed to commit fornication, according to the Bible. So if we're not holding these things to a standard, then our communities is not going to grow. All right, and that's the reason we're in this condition that we're in.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. nation endures.